Yeah, nothing to do with things. Yeah. All right, since we have a quorum, we'll call the meeting to order. And first thing on the agenda was a quorum check, and we waited till that took place, so we do have a quorum, and our meeting is official. Report on the staff change from County Manager Horton.
Did everybody get a copy of Trevor's email? Did everybody get that? I think he had everybody's email on there, so, and I'm not sure if everybody got a chance to respond, but Trevor has been with us now. He was our first EDC director, and been with us almost 2.5 years. I think it was pretty close to 2.5 years by tomorrow, or something like that. And he decided to make a course change and do a few different things, and he's still young enough to do whatever he wants to do, and has got enough energy to do whatever he wants to do, and we wish him well and hope that he is working on his master's degree through Western Carolina, so we won't be seeing the last of him, I don't think, but he's going to do something different for a while, and he's done a lot of good things. I'd like to just take a moment just to kind of go over, while Trevor was with us, some of the things that y'all been able to accomplish, and he outlined some of those things in his email. You restarted the annual industry appreciation, business appreciation banquet that we have honoring our local businesses and what they mean to the economy. And I think that's been very successful in the last couple of years, and we hopefully will continue to do that and make it even better. The other thing was when Trevor started, the EDC had been working, Ed, with trying to become a certified entrepreneurial community. And I think Gary Deal said had done a lot of work on that along with some other folks, and Trevor picked that up and completed it and got all the way through. And last spring, Macon County was certified as an entrepreneurial community. And we got the signs on the highway to notice that. And I did have a phone call from a guy that we were talking to about relocating here or expanding his business here, and he said, I just noticed when I came up from Georgia that the sign that says entrepreneur, he said, I didn't know y'all had that. He said, congratulations. So
we hadn't had it long.
We hadn't had it long, but it took a while to get the signs put up, but that's going to help, even if you don't get necessarily a direct investment from that, at least you get more recognition. And I think it lends itself to the credibility of the county and the hard work of the EDC and doing all that, so that's important.
Jack, let me interrupt you there just a little bit. Gary Dills and Bob Scott and Donnie and some others have done most of the work on that project, and then it just sort of got shelved and almost fell through the cracks. And Trevor did pick it up and single-handedly complete the paperwork on that, so we will have to give him a lot of credit for that.
I think the other thing that's done, he helped us through too, was updating our website. Of course, it needs to be updated again now, but before that, we really didn't have a whole lot on there. But most people do their shopping now on the computer. Before we even talk to anybody, they've already checked out who the mayor of Franklin is and where you can get something to eat, and what's the hospital like, and who loans money, all that kind of stuff. And so it's important to keep that up. And I think Tony Angel is doing our updates on that, so we need to get him to continue to work on that and bring it up to date. But we have had a lot of inquiries, if no solutions, but we've had a lot of inquiries through the website, so I think that's something to be proud of. What else? We got
the booklet that you've got there.
Oh yeah. This is. Does everybody get one of these? Everybody get one of these? Hardback cover here. So we have some of them that are soft cover, and I've got some more down at the office. So if you do talk to someone that are interested, I had someone call me just this past week and said, "Look, is there any way I can get some of that information?" And so I went back to Trevor's old office, and it's not all put together, but all of it's there. So if you take 5 minutes, we put the tabs in, put all the information in there. But this is a really good marketing tool for us to have. We've got to work on that. So we do have plenty of these, and they're not out of date yet. So we need to.
There's a PDF here. There's an electronic version of it.
There's an electronic version too.
Yeah.
So
I don't think we
that
got
was a major accomplishment. I
And
think,
it
as
wasn't
well.
color, but the content was.
I think we are to the point where we need to go back through it and be sure it's up to date.
checked out in the years, I recall.
I apologize ahead of time because I usually have somebody else put all this stuff together for me, but you had to rely on me today, so that's at least for the interim. But I did want to make sure that we recognize all the good work that Trevor has done for us as our first EDC director, and we're going to be talking about how we go from here. In the meantime, if people have inquiries, I'm not really going to appoint an interim EDC director. We'll have all the inquiries or the Department of Commerce or any inquiries that we need. Maybe funnel through our office now, either myself or someone in the office, or Ed and I have been kind of working in tandem on a couple here, and we'll take those and run with it until we get the permanent replacement in for Trevor. But Trevor's last day was back on September the 11th, and the other thing I think that we need to be keenly aware of is our incubator / business development center that was pretty much just a driver's license office and a place for Whitley to bend and cut pipes over there. And we've had a lot more activity in there here recently. We'll talk about some potentials there tonight that we need to share with you. But that one's moving right along, and it's amazing how if you get one tenant, then the word seems to spread, word of mouth faster than advertising in a magazine or something. So we're starting to get a lot more inquiries and activity. And so we're excited about that. So a lot of the advances we've made in the incubator have been done since Trevor was with us. And so, as he said, he was thankful for the experience. He's like I say, he's just 25, so he's got a long way to go. But he's done a real job. We wish him all the success. I have his contact information. If anything comes up, if we need him for anything, he's more than willing to share that with us or come back or help us with anything that comes up. So we appreciate his service to the county, to the EDC, and we'll do our best to see about getting some more staff. I mean, that was one of the top priorities. So when I met with Ed and Mark and the other folks on the EDC back when I first came to work, he says, we need a staff person, somebody to do all the legwork for us, because we don't have time to do this. But that's what we're doing right now. So we're handling all the stuff as well as we can. Hopefully it won't be a long time till we resolve that problem, get somebody on staff. But that's where we are right now. Is there any questions about that I might be able to answer for y'all tonight? But that's kind of the direction we are. It comes at a sort of an inopportune time. My finance director is just retiring again at the end of the month. Evelyn Southard is outstanding finance director. Matter of fact, she was voted outstanding finance director of the state a few years ago when she was in Edgecombe County. And she retired, came back home, and one thing led to another. She went right back to work for the county. So she's been back with the county full time as a county employee for 4 years. And so she's going to retire at the end of December, the end of October. So I've been preoccupied with going through applications, trying to find somebody for that very, very important job. Without the finance department, we can't even spend any money for EDC or anything else. So we're getting close. Hopefully in the next week or 10 days, we hope to be able to announce a replacement for Evelyn. It probably won't start until the end of October, the 1st of November. But that's one thing. The other thing is our longtime emergency services director decided to move up and go to work for Joe in the town, and sees an opportunity over there. So I'm in the process now of advertising for that position, and that one's open until filled. So as soon as we get the finance director position out of the way, we'll concentrate on that one. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and start working on the EDC position as well. But people are moving around, retiring, changing jobs, getting different directions, and so that happens. I've been doing this for a long time. You're getting old when you sit in church and the guy taps you on the back and said, we've got a real fun senior citizens trip to Gatlinburg scheduled in a week or two. I'll say, I'm not a senior citizen, so I guess.
You go to McDonald's and get your senior citizen discount without asking for it, that's when you arrive.
That's when you arrive. But I've been doing it for a long time, and these things go and come, but, you know, made a lot of progress with the EDC in the past couple of years, and we want to build on that and continue. And I think, it was a real good, a real good editorial in one of the local papers. I think it was in the press, Colin, about complimenting the EDC and Trevor's work, and we want to build on our successes and continue to make Macon County #1 in that respect. The other thing that I really want to get a handle back on is our meeting schedule. I know we've stopped having once a month meetings and went to a different schedule, and it's been a while since we had a regular scheduled meeting. So Ed, I'd like for y'all to discuss a meeting schedule, at least for the balance of this year, to see what would work between now and say January, and then if you want to, when do you have your annual meeting when you elect your chair?
That's in January.
So I'd like to at least go ahead and set us up what kind of meeting schedule you want to have between now and January. And then once you have your annual meeting in January and elect your officers for the coming year, you can set a schedule up for the next full year. But in the meantime, it'd be good to go ahead and put it in everybody's calendar as to when that is. So, Mr. Chairman, if y'all can discuss that, give us some feedback on it.
Since we're in the process of Jack and us looking for a replacement, we probably need to go back to a monthly schedule. I don't know that we want to do that in December, because that's pretty hectic, but October, November for sure.
I agree.
When is your normal, what night, what day?
Third
Tuesday.
The third Tuesday? The third Tuesday in October would be October the 18th.
Right. Is that suitable for you? I guess you're.
That's fine with me.
Be the 18th and the 15th of November. And I guess the 20th of June or December, which is probably out. That's getting pretty close.
I doubt if we could get a quorum that night for sure.
Yeah, that's Easter week there. Christmas is on Sunday this year. Does that work for everybody? Schedule, go ahead and do that. Now, there may be that something comes up that you have to call a special meeting for. So, if you want to set those as your regular meetings, and if something happens,
Let's set those, and if it's agreeable, we'll set
I
the.
was just checking, I know we've always done Tuesdays, would Thursdays be okay, or is that worse for everybody?
Either one's fine.
I've got a conflict on Thursday, third Thursday, but.
Well, the third Thursday, we would have a conflict. That was the fourth Thursday.
We've got 4 Thursday.
We did fourth,
That's
so
what
we
we
did
did.
third.
Third or fourth?
It's third.
Third.
I mean, I can,
So the fourth Thursday would be okay, isn't it, for me?
That's still is another fourth Thursday, or is it not?
No,
I have a conflict every Tuesday, but if I need to get around it, I can. Thursdays are just easier, but if Tuesdays are better for everybody else.
I can do
it
either one.
doesn't matter to me.
If you, let's just leave it on Tuesday, we all come.
So the
Yeah, we
18th?
got used to that being
Okay.
the thing.
What about the time? I didn't bring anything to eat or drink tonight, so.
With moving it up 30 minutes, help you, Johnny?
Oh, it doesn't really matter.
Pardon?
Yeah, I can, doing 5 instead of 5:30, that's fine.
What about the rest of you guys?
Either-
Connie and I are unemployed, so it doesn't matter.
That's right.
Mark,
All
yeah.
right, so 5, we're gonna meet at 5.
At 5 o'clock?
If I-
Is that fine with you, Jack?
Yeah, it's fine, at 5 p.m.
Or can we schedule January 2, and then at that point, schedule the rest of 2012?
Yeah, I guess you need to go ahead and schedule your regular annual meeting in January, so we can go ahead and kick it off from there.
So it'll be January 17th.
And that'd be our annual meeting.
Let's see,
Right.
Well, that'd be a regular meeting with election of officers and reappointment of
Yeah, what day is that? January 17th, is that on Tuesday? So the 16th would be a holiday then, right? I guess 16th is a holiday, doesn't make any difference, but.
Oh, I guess it is, my phone doesn't show that, that'd be Martin Luther King.
It's my birthday.
So is that the holiday?
So which one do we take the holiday for?
I think take it on Monday, close to, whatever the closest Monday is, the 15th.
All right, so we're back on the 17th.
17th, January 17th. Same time?
So we're doing
October, November, and January.
October 18th, November
15th,
15th.
January 17th. Jack, there's three members on here that reappointed or replaced. And then whatever the county commissioners would think good regarding Gary Dills, since he doesn't attend. But he still has a year left on his appointment.
Whose term runs out this year?
Mark and Joe and Robert Clemens.
Okay. We don't have term limits anymore, so.
That means a lifetime. Maybe that's not best for the EDC. I don't know.
On that, on top of,
The town has a spot on the EDC that I guess Joe or the town have the option of filling rather than the.
Well, actually, the county commissioners appoint, and they expect they just get a recommendation. Usually, whatever the recommendation of the county is who they appoint. So,
Okay.
since it's a county advisory committee.
I think our intention was at least to have somebody in the town, so.
Right.
There's somebody from the town, Franklin Town Highlands,
Right.
and then somebody from the two chambers.
And so we'll need those appointments, do they expire in January?
January.
Okay, so we'll probably need to get reappointments made in December then, probably. So we'll need to do that. I think, well, Joe said your term expired in 2011, but I don't think that's right. I think as long as you're.
It's at the end of 2011,
Yeah.
is the way that's.
Is that the way it reads?
The way it reads, yeah.
Right.
Okay. So at the end of 2011, so 2012. All right, I'll find out how we deal with that, but normally, and if we need to get a letter from you or something from the town saying,
Sure.
continue, we'll just ask the board to do that. Okay, so everybody got those dates now? November the 15th, October the 18th, December, we didn't have December,
No, we'll skip December.
no meeting, unless we have to have a special call
Yeah.
meeting.
January 17th.
And in January would be on the 17th.
So at the January meeting, we'll decide whether to continue month to
Right.
month or go
Right.
quarterly.
Yeah, at the January meeting, we'll set the 2012 schedule.
Okay, cool.
Whatever works best for everybody, go ahead and set that. And what we'll need to do then, since this is a public body, what we probably ought to do is go ahead and notify the press what your regular meeting schedule will be. Unless you deviate from that, then you're good. You're good for the year, unless you have a special call meeting, and then we need to get 48 hours notice for that. Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, the other reports, the unemployment office sends out a list of the unemployment every month. For July, Macon County's unemployment level was 10%. For August, it was 10.3. That's compared to August last year, it was 9.4. Does everyone here on the EDC get that report from Dale?
Yeah.
so we don't necessarily need to.
If anybody doesn't, I'm sure she'd be back, if you
Yeah,
email
it's a bulk email, so.
Yeah.
I noticed about every county saw an increase, August 11 versus August 10, and well, Clay stayed the same.
Well, we keep hearing, you know, particularly construction people who are hit hard. I think Whitley is trying to boost their employment level a little bit, having some problems, I understand, finding the people that they want. Caterpillar has been hiring substantially. I don't know how far up the line they are yet.
Yeah, apparently their business will pretty well.
Yeah.
This new Walmart construction partner hired about 20 people from grading, you know, been in grading, earth moving, that kind of thing. And they've been looking for, you know, a year and a half, 2 years probably. So that's been good for those folks, at least for a
Those
month.
are local people that.
Yeah, they've hired about 20, I believe is the number I was told.
Do you have any idea, Mark, how long that excavation project will last?
No, I don't. I wouldn't think more than, they're probably gonna be through for Christmas, wouldn't you think, or maybe earlier. They're going.
They're moving a lot of dirt.
Yeah, there's a lot to move though,
Yeah.
so I don't know, it's not long, I mean, a few months, but.
This man sitting in the back that might have a general idea, Louis,
They got a deadline for December,
December.
that's what I've heard. They may get weather delays.
I don't know when the opening date's supposed to be, Joe, do you know?
I think October or something, I think they want to get open for next Christmas as well.
October 12th. So there should be some jobs too then for building construction.
Of course, you know, that's probably not gonna make it in 10% unemployment.
Yeah.
But it a little bit helps, you know.
Well, if you're one of those guys, it'd make a big dent.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I think the other thing that is a little bit deceiving, our unemployment rate is probably actually higher than what it appears on here, because we have a lot of folks who don't draw unemployment benefits because they're self-employed. So those numbers don't show up on here, so it's probably higher than what we actually see.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. The subcontractors just don't, they're not counted in that. There's no way. And a lot of them, I've had a conversation with a couple of them that are saying, you know, at this point, they're thinking about maybe going back to school or retraining some other way or something that just to leave the construction business. So,
But it certainly doesn't look very promising in the near term. Maybe a few years they can turn around.
our business development center, or incubator, is we're used to calling it. We've got 2 people in there now. One is Whitley, and we've talked about them at these meetings for quite some time. One of the things that Trevor did prior to leaving, Jack, you can jump in here if you need to, but we found another location that was same money, a little more square footage, closer to them and all that. So in the lease process, we have, I think if we haven't, we're in the process of telling them this will be the last lease that we will extend to them.
And will that
We
give?
do have a lease, do have a lease with them for the rest of this fiscal year through June, unless they decide, but it has
June 2012.
12, but it has, it's written in such a way that if they don't produce X number of jobs, then there's a penalty on that, but it also has an escape hatch on there if they find a suitable location, and we're going to work with them to do that, because they really need a permanent place for what they're doing. Evidently, the things that they've been doing in the incubator are things that they have to have no matter what, and that they just can't do it in their present location, that's where the plan is.
Yeah.
So they do really need some more space. We had one time talked to them about expanding where they are, but that's probably not feasible right now. So some additional lease space and like Ed was saying, we did find, I did, Trevor and Ed and so forth, they had found some suitable space, actually more room than what they have now, which would be good. Big problem with that is it's expensive to unhook and then reestablish somewhere else, and we're a little reluctant to jump in there and do that real quick, and so they're having to analyze that, calculate it, and see when and how much that's going to cost, and if that'll work. I don't think the space is going away anytime soon, so it'll be there for a little while. But hopefully they will take advantage of that space and expand a little bit. Perhaps they can hire some more people. They have picked up a few contracts, and there's a new plant manager at Whitley now. I don't know if y'all had a chance to meet him or not, but he seems like a sharp young man. I think they'll really do a good job for him. So we met with the CEO and CFO on a couple of occasions from Indiana, and doing everything we can to help them stay in business and prosper. It's tough. All the business is tied to the automobile business, and they've been through some rough times here the last couple of years, but they're hanging on. So we don't have that many real, what you call, industrial type manufacturing facilities, and I guess that would be as close as what we'd have to anything like that. So they are back up in, I think they are back up in employees, though. They got down to about half what they were at one time, but they're back up about 75%, I think, of their top number, so that's encouraging.
They were trying to develop a third shift. I'm not sure where they are with that.
But they've been out there for 6 or 7 years now. I think, the whole purpose of the incubator was to get somebody in and help them find another place and move out, and then get somebody else in and help them find another place and move out. And so we want to try to get back to that if we can. And we've had some good conversation with them, but they understand that this is the year they need to make a decision. So we're cautiously optimistic on that. But they do have a lease. Matter of fact, in addition to the 7,000 some square feet that they have in the half of the building, they've also leased that big section in the back that's about 3,500 square feet. They're primarily having to use that for storage of material and so forth.
So they have both compartments. We were trying to get sliced out, they all moved in the big one.
Well, they moved everything in the big one, and then they came back, the Trevor, and said they needed the other one on a short-term basis. So does that last till June 12th?
Yeah, it's in there too, but we also have escape clause in there. If they get to the point where they don't need that anymore, they'll be glad to turn that loose and give 30 days notice. But I guess on the plus side, we're collecting rent on both of them now, and we didn't collect anything for a number of years. So hopefully we'll generate enough money to help go back into keeping the building, to keep the building up. So that helps some. We're not getting rich off of it, but at least it generates some money back in to what it takes to keep the building up and in good order.
Our other tenant there now is 4X, or something else goes with their name.
4X Currency Trade Advisors LLC.
Right. And for all you guys, Joe, that's got lots of money, you can go in there and learn how to trade currencies. They're operating with about 12 mutual fund type, or 12 funds, and 12 different currencies and so forth. And it's a pretty phenomenal looking operation. I don't have any idea what the profitability or anything is, but it's up and going.
How many folks work in this currency
I
business?
think we 2 or 3 in there now, but they're actually using some of the office space up front instead of some of the incubator space in the back. Ed and I were out there yesterday. They got that conference room right there. They're using it sort of as a station area. They must have 60 screens in there or something like that. It's a whole wall full of screens with charts in there.
There's 3 screens for each currency, so that'd be 36. There was a 4 for each currency.
That's the startup, or it's the relocation.
Yeah, startup.
Yeah. But each one of the monitors have changes in currency in 15 minutes, 1 hour, and then 1 day, so you can see, you can track it all the way. And what little I learned about it is, if you know what you're doing, if you're buying this currency, when it gets to a certain point, the computer said, well, probably you need to sell that now. It's kind of like day trading, I guess, in the stock market. I don't know anything about that either. But he showed us on there, well, if we should have sold, if you were investing in pounds, in English pounds, at this point at 2 o'clock in that afternoon, probably should have sold it then, because the next 2 or 3 hours it went down. So you could have made, depends on how much money you invest, anywhere from $400, $4,000 just that quick, if you know what you're doing. I don't know anything about it except,
You can go the other way. then.
Yeah, I bet I could find that.
But they started, I believe about 4 in the morning and quit about 2 in the afternoon.
yeah,
Because of the European time.
worldwide, yeah. So it's fascinating what they do. But they're in, and we have a year's lease on them, and so they're in, and then the way the lease is set up, we're trying to get it more like y'all had envisioned before. Come in, and if you stay a year, it's this much per square foot. If you stay longer than that, we do an adjustment. If you stay a third year, and it goes up again. And so it finally gets to the point where it makes more sense to move on out. So that's a good way to do that, I think.
I don't know whether you news guys have any information on that or not, but, and I don't have any idea what his reaction is to, I'm assuming that he probably wants some publicity on it, but I'm not sure. You need to, Gary Taylor is his name. So.
What kind of jobs are they, what kind of employees are they using? Financial advisors, or is it a professional position? Is it a secretarial position that you're filling?
It's more of an advisor, the way I understand it, Donnie. I'm like Jack. I'm just sort of amazed to walk in there and see that many monitors with that many graphs on it. So, and I know very little about currency trading, so
I think they're advisors, kind of like a stockbroker in a way, and when you buy and sell stuff, they get commission from that, and that's how they make their money. And so they do a lot of stuff by computer, internet, electronic means, and so forth. So, and that seems to be where everything's going this day and time.
It's more of a
You got to have an
professional
electronic
position.
connection.
Because stockbrokers have to have training and certifications and this, that, and the
They
other.
have to have a license,
And
I guess this may do.
I really don't know. And just for your information too, we have got fiber in that.
Yeah, they wouldn't be doing this without fiber.
In that incubator, so that makes it feasible for that kind of operation to be there.
Yeah, and don't ask me to explain what kind of fiber it is, but it's 5 something in there. What is it? 5?
Cat 5.
No, it's not
It's not
Cat 5.
gas fiber.
That's on your side of this.
They were talking about the.
You got
go
to
in,
go and
go
down
out.
at different speeds.
Yeah, we'll have to wait till Hubs gets back.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about it anyway.
But
Anyway,
it's
it's
sufficient
twice as
for them to
fast
do
one
what
way
they
as it is
do.
the other. So,
Yeah, that's good.
but you got to have that. With all these folks got to have that kind of do business, and the business is not just Macon County; it's worldwide. So you got to be able to go to work at 4 o'clock in the morning. You're going to talk to somebody in Italy.
Yeah.
On retail business development, we don't have a whole lot to talk about there. I think most of you are aware that our efforts in conjunction with the town and so forth, and the Jacobs family, we did not get the match store. And that was disappointing to all of us. And I have no idea what, if anything, that they have decided to do with people. I'm not sure they've made any sort of decision at this point. We are aware of the Walmart move, and Trevor had, in his notes to Jack and so forth, has given an update on the contact we've had with the owner of that shopping center there. And there's been some communication on what his plans are, and I think we probably, in the relatively near future, have some involvement there as well, if we can, to try to not end up with a hole up on that end of town. But at this point, I'm not aware of anything specific or.
I thought I'd just put that in there in case you had any other information. I know that Joe and the town worked closely on that, trying to find it, and that would have been a real strong anchor for downtown, I think. And so, but just because that particular venture didn't work out doesn't mean another one won't come along. But I think the thing about Macon County is we still have a pretty good retail business in the county for our location. And I say that because if you look at our sales tax that come in, sales tax are collected and distributed two ways by the state. One on point of sale, and the other one is statewide and then redistributed based on population. This past year, as a result of Medicaid change in Raleigh, what they call Article 42, which is a statewide half-cent sales tax, part of that's used for school improvements, was collected statewide, redistributed to counties based on population. It's still collected, and they changed it from the population distribution to point of sale. And what we've seen in Macon County is our Article 42 sales tax has gone up instead of going down. So in our Article 39, which is point of sale, original point of sale, our sales taxes for people who buy things here in the county is better than if we share with the entire state. So I think there's a real advantage to continue to build the retail market here in and around Franklin. So there's a lot of opportunities out there for that. And with the new Walmart going in, that leaves another big question: what's going to happen to the old Walmart?
Yeah.
The building. Something that needs to be explored.
Well, there's out parcels there, and I have no idea what they.
How far
At the new wall.
New wall.
They're down to about 2 right now, I believe.
They've got a field. I mean, they have as much other retail business.
I don't know how many, I just know that the town's looking for a spot maybe for an ABC store there. So there's about 2 spots left.
Well, was that Walmart or was that the other guys?
That was developed.
That's a premium spot though,
Yeah, it is.
adjacent to that Walmart, to the new Walmart.
They want about 6 or 700 for them. I guess it was good acre, but probably not much more than that.
Right.
I don't have anything else, nothing else on the agenda.
Couple
We do
budget
have a
possibly
special.
to talk about, probably in closed session before we make any formal announcement about that, bring it there on those possibilities, I guess. So we probably need to have a closed session on that.
Need a motion for closed session, so moved.
For what purpose?
We've got two prospects for the incubator facility. Okay. We will go into executive session, and if there's any actions taken, we will notify you guys at the work.